Hi, I'm Tyson Sontag, and this is my Persuasive Pro Speech for Benny Bell's speech class. I'm going to turn the camera around, hand to my audience. Everybody wave. I have my audience. Thank you very much. Today I'm going to be speaking about compressed natural gas vehicles and why you should own one. Ever since the last spike in oil prices, Americans have been looking for cheaper and more stable alternatives to standard gas and diesel-fueled vehicles. Their choices range from gas-electric hybrids to full electric vehicles to biofuels such as corn-based ethanol and soybean-based biodiesel. The search for alternative fuel vehicles has been given a sense of urgency with a newfound desire to reduce greenhouse gases. When we look to alternative fueled vehicles, not all options are equal. Full electric vehicles have range issues in that they can't cover the same distances an internal combustion engine powered vehicle can. Hybrid electric vehicles solve the range issues, but they are technologically complicated and require special service. Biofuels, on the other hand, while attractive and they mimic the ease of use of gasoline and diesel, present an ethical dilemma because it's hard to justify turning food into fuel while there's still hungry people in this world. There is only one fuel source that can solve all of the problems present, and that fuel source is compressed natural gas. So today I'm going to talk about the pros of using a compressed natural gas powered vehicle and why it is the better choice. Supply. The United States has long had an addiction to oil. In 2014, the United States imported about 27% of the petroleum it consumed, and a great deal of the world's petroleum reserves are located in politically volatile locations and countries, making the United States vulnerable to supply disruptions. The United States itself only has 29 billion barrels of proven oil reserves. Natural gas, on the other hand, presents a much different picture. With the advent of hydraulic fracturing, the United States has opened up vast reserves of natural gas. The American Gas Association estimates that as of 2012, the United States has over 100 years' supply of natural gas. New gas-producing field formations are still being found today, and these supplies of locally sourced gas has led to an abundant supply and stability in natural gas prices. Checking the history of natural gas prices since 2006, the trend line shows a pronounced decrease in prices. While crude oil also trending down, its curve in relation to natural gas is relatively flat. And for my illustration, I have a chart here in which I've highlighted the price of natural gas in orange, and this chart is since 2000. And if you look, while the price has gone up, there has been some spikes, the curve remains relatively flat. And if you look at the top line is the curve in prices of oil, while you see there's some volatile spikes and the gap between the price of oil and natural gas remains large until today. But given that history, the price of oil will go up again and natural gas will remain stable. Now that we've established the stability of the price of and supply of natural gas, let's talk about the environmental side of it. When compared to gasoline or diesel-powered vehicles, natural gas-powered vehicles emit 13 to 21% fewer greenhouse gas emissions measured on a well-to-wheel basis. The United States has also had 3 emissions deadlines or goals for nitrogen oxide reduction for trucks to meet since 2004, with the last deadline in 2010 being the most stringent. Medium and heavy-duty natural gas engines were the first to meet the 2010 deadline. Another upside to natural gas is that it is lighter than air. If it were to leak outside of its tank or the engine, it will rise into the atmosphere instead of sinking like gasoline or diesel fuel and contaminating the soil or water. Speaking of emissions deadlines, each deadline has required diesel engines to add another piece of equipment to meet those emissions. Diesel engines now have 2 different catalysts, a particulate trap and a urea injection system on their exhaust systems. Because natural gas is so clean, it only requires 1 catalyst to meet the same level of emissions. Having less parts to maintain means less money spent on repairs for the owner, less time in the shop, less downtime, more productive time for the truck. Now that I have made a case for natural gas based on stable price, abundant supply, and reduced emissions, I would like to interject my own personal experiences. As a professional technician who has maintained both diesel and natural gas-powered vehicles, I have developed a preference for natural gas-powered vehicles. I have observed, even though they are in a truck, the engines produce significantly less noise, and when working in a closed shop, they don't produce the same noxious odor as a diesel engine. One day while working on a wet truck, I remarked to a coworker that it smelled like someone was drying towels in a clothes dryer. Lastly, since a natural gas-powered vehicle burns cleaner and doesn't produce soot like a diesel engine, anytime you work on the inside of a natural gas engine, you stay a lot cleaner relative to a diesel-powered engine. Today, I hope I have laid out an effective case for choosing a natural gas-powered vehicle. Natural gas prices and supply stability allow you to predict fuel expenses a lot better. The cleaner burning properties of natural gas help you to clean up the environment as well. Thank you very much for your time and consideration. I'm going to pan around to my audience. Thank you very much.